Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke. We're going to get right into it. Today is going to be more of an intimate conversation, more of a chit chat if you will. I had this beautiful subscriber reach out to me not too long ago and she asked me some personal questions, but one of the questions that she asked me was my transition. A transition from girl to womanhood and what that was like and how did I get through that, and if I have any advice for her on going through that transition. So like I said, today is going to be an intimate conversation about that. This video is for anyone who's going through that journey at this moment, who's going through that transition, who wants to elevate into their womanhood, into their soft feminine era, but also for anyone who may have forgotten to appreciate that journey, because sometimes we forget that it's the journey that's important. So let's get into it. Just wanted you to know that before I start on this conversation, I have to circle back to a main topic that I talk about in most of my videos, and that's divine feminine energy. And just to recap, I realized that I talk about this in most of my videos, but it actually took me a while to actually learn what divine feminine energy is and to step into that. Divine feminine is living in your confident, soft era, loving yourself, and it's more about you and less about others. It's more about what you can do for yourself and less about what others can do for you. And it's about embracing your journey and your insecurities, and it's about forgiving yourself and understanding that you can't control the circumstance around you, but you can control how you respond to all of those things. But also understanding that you're deserving of all of the blessings and the things that you're asking for, that you're deserving of all of that. And so I talk about that in a lot of my videos, but it wasn't until I stepped into my womanhood where I was able to grasp that, to able to conquer and own that thought and that concept of soft feminine energy and living in that. And so in reality, that transition from girl to womanhood, it's not an overnight thing, and it takes time. It takes time. It takes a lot of failing and a lot of mistakes, and it's not easy. But that's the beautiful part, because it's the journey towards that. It will take mistakes, it will take failures, it will take heartbreaks, it will take misunderstandings, it will take moving to a new city, it will take seasons of you falling in and out of love with yourself, learning how to fall back in love with yourself, learning how to choose you first. But all of that takes time. And that's what I had to go through. And I learned that transition from girl to womanhood, there's a secret behind that, and I'm about to share that with you guys right now. You know, living in my soft feminine divine energy, but also transitioning to womanhood, I had to go through it, and I came to a conclusion. That transition from girl to womanhood is having the ability to move on. That's the secret, being able to move on. So that was the critical point of me transitioning from a girl to a woman, or stepping into my womanhood, when I was able to conquer the skill and have the strength to move on even when nothing made sense, and I had to keep it moving and keep walking. And to be honest, it's not very pretty at sometimes. It's not the most beautiful thing. It takes time, and sometimes it looks like you just putting one foot in step of the other, or just choosing to stand up after you've been knocked down. In order to step into that womanhood, matter of fact, that divine womanhood, we have to conquer the skill of moving on when we don't understand the chaos that's going on around us. So here's my advice to you on transitioning into that womanhood. Even when the chaos around you doesn't make sense, even when it's hard or it hurts, even when your heart is hurting, or when you're confused, or when it's not going your way, keep moving and move on. I don't care if it's ugly, if it's not pretty, and if it's extremely hard for you. You have to work on putting one foot in front of the other, even if it's just one step. move on. You become a woman, a divine woman, when you're able to do that, when you're able to put yourself first and to keep it moving. I'm actually about to go run some errands, so I'm gonna take you guys with me. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about moving on and how critical it is to move on in order to reach this divine feminine life, in order to be the women that we were destined to be. I just want to remind you that it's okay that you're going through low seasons. I know it's hard and I know it's challenging. You're going to get through it, and it's beautiful. It's molding you. But all you have to focus on is every day putting one foot in front of the other. Moving on. I'm going to show you guys my outfit for today. It's very simple, you guys. The weather in Dallas is just starting to calm down some. It's slightly spring. So I got this from Shein. It's very casual, you know. I usually like my dresses, but I think this will do. So yeah. Okay, so let's get to it, okay? I'm gonna take you guys with me. Just wanted you to know that. Okay, my loves. So let's talk about why moving on is the critical step towards moving to womanhood. I'll let you in on another secret. Life is hard, it's challenging, and it has no favorites. We're all getting a piece of its mind, and it doesn't matter who you are, how talented you are, or how tired you are. If it's not one thing, then it's something else. Do we just sit still and accept it, or do we accept it and use it? Move forward. We can't control the chaos around us because it will always be there, but we can control how we respond to it. Respond by moving on. Be the closure instead of looking for closure. You are in control, believe it or not. I had to learn that in order for me to move on, I had to keep my emotions in check as much as possible, which also means embracing them and letting them go. Moving on from those emotions because they are so fragile and easily influenced. They are not loyal. If we're not careful, those emotions can hold us back and keep us frozen, stuck in the past or in a place of hurt. And my love, let the emotions come, but walk away from it. Even when it hurts, create your happiness. Understand that as a divine woman, you're able to move forward even when the chaos around you doesn't make sense. As a woman, one of our main focus is to protect our peace and the peace of our loved ones around us. The transition from being a girl to a woman will teach you the power of distance, giving anything that's separating us from our peace and happiness distance. It's an act of moving on, and here's why. Creating that space detaches us from our emotions. Therefore, we can see much more clearly. I heard my pastor say that sometimes we can't move on because we're walking through the same doors expecting different results. And our emotions are attached to those doors. So step back, create distance, and eventually you will see that there's a better door and better directions for you to take. Creating distance creates a vision and shine lights on a better path to move forward. So I had to understand personally that I had the power to move on. And sometimes I'm stuck in cycles because of my emotions. I'm walking through the same door expecting different results instead of stepping back and giving myself distance from anything that's keeping me back or keeping me in a low space. Step back and gain clarity for myself to protect my peace. And eventually I saw that there's a better option out there. There's better blessings for me that's waiting for me. And then I had the strength to move forward and to walk towards that door, to walk towards the purpose that God has for me. So I'm saying all of this because that critical moment when I transitioned from a girl to womanhood, it wasn't an overnight thing. It was me stepping back and looking at my past and realizing that I moved on. And once I realized that, and once I started actually using this skill set and using this strength, I realized that I am a powerful, divine woman and strong enough and capable to handle anything that's coming my way. It is then that I realized that I will always have the power to move on and that I will always be okay. Even when it hurts or even when I get knocked off my feet, God gave me the strength to keep it moving, and the same for you. Be the divine woman and move on, not just for you, but for the ones you love and the ones around you. Get up and move on. As always, you got this and you are loved, and I hope this video helps you. But remember that you are powerful and there's so much out there for you. So let's go get it. Much love. Mwah.